And there was times that I could hear him on my buddy's headset, like in the other part of the house, being like, come on, this is... And his mom, one time I heard his mom come and be like, all right, that's enough.
Welcome to the Nerd News Podcast, starring Tyson Cox and Tyler Waltz.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerd News, where we bring you the latest and greatest in anything nerd. My name is Tyler Waltz, and as always, my co-host
Tyson Cox.
Yeah, and I think today we're gonna get right into it. Real quick before we get started, we just want to say thank you for watching and loving everything that we do.
Yeah, you guys are the best. You nerds are the best. Thank you, nerds, for being you.
Yeah, just for being you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead and get into our first topic here. We just watched a trailer for a new Netflix animated show for Dragon Age.
Looks pretty good.
It does, and I guess we're gonna jump immediately into a question for the audience. What do you guys think? Because we're coming at it from the angle of we haven't played the Dragon Age games.
I think I played Legend of the Lost Dragoon, which I don't think is the same thing.
What? I don't even know what that is.
I think it's a game they're redoing, but I remember it was like a 4-disc game, and it was pretty great.
I don't think that has anything to do with Dragon Age.
Nothing. Zero.
Then why bring it up? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
no, just bring it up. I was showing you how qualified I am that I don't know anything about it.
right, I'm just going to talk about something.
Something.
What are you, a politician? It's like, what do you think on this war? Well, honestly,
During the matinee show yesterday, Brent Terhune was doing crowd work. So there's 6 people kind of by me, but there's these 2 older ladies, and he was like, "What do you do?" And the lady's like, "I buy buildings." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "What is that?" And he goes, "I buy this." And there was like that quick crowd work and moved on. And then he goes on, and he goes, "Yeah, near the high school." And he was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, near the high school. It's good." And he was like, "What high school?" She goes, "Oh," and then she's like, "We're from this high school." And it's like, "Oh, that's nice." And then try to move on, and she'd be like, "Which one did you go to?" And he answered, and she goes, "Oh, that's a." He's like, "That's a good one." He goes, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right, which one did you go to?" And she was like, "This one." He goes, "Oh, that used to be a good school." And she goes, "It still is." And then he would try it, and it was so funny because every time he tried to move on, the lady would be like, "Do you know this guy?"
That's such an old lady move,
It
too.
was pro old lady move.
It's like being at Thanksgiving.
It really.
It's so funny. I love it at the same time that I'm like, I don't understand. Every year at Thanksgiving, when my grandparents meet up, they'll always argue about who lived in like the house 50 years ago. Do you not know? So they'll get together and they'll be like, "Do you remember the greenhouse at the bottom of the hill that the Davises lived in?"
Well, it wasn't the Davises.
Yeah, the other grandma's like, "It was actually the bird, and it's like I don't know. And then they're like, "You remember Tyler?" I'm like, "I'm 19. Like, I don't know who lives there now."
Yeah. God. I just thought it was so funny. God, because he would just keep moving on, and then the old lady would be like, "They're going to state this year." And like Brendan's a cool cucumber guy, but he kind of like did the thing where he was like,
Can I get back to the show?
he was asking other people questions, and then she would just keep talking.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like, she'd quiet and he'd move. He'd be like, "All right, and what do you do? What is your hobby, phlebotomist, besides playing with people's blood?" Get a laugh, and the lady would be like, "Well, also, Notre Dame Irish is we changed the name." And you're like, what is fucking going on? God, it was so good.
That's excellent.
Because everyone else in the room, too, was like, what is fucking happening?
Yeah. At a certain point, it almost becomes like a novel thing where it's like, I think we have to see this through.
It was so funny.
Ugh, that's great. So, Dragon Age. Neither one of us have played Dragon Age. I got 3-4 hours into the first one. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, by the time I played it, I didn't have that nostalgia for it. And I couldn't get through the mechanics. It was very Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
I can't remember which came first, but Knights of the Old Republic and the first Dragon Age were like that. Those were the 2 games for that style of game. Because I love Knights of the Old Republic. Dragon Age just felt a bit slow, and I didn't get around to it.
Sure.
But it looks amazing. It looks like the same animation studio for Castlevania.
Yeah, The style looks really, really good. Like the one thing that caught my eye was there's an explosion that it did like the normal fire stuff, but it still had like purples and pinks in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So I thought it looked really good. I'm sure when Castlevania came out, people were like, "Oh, what does this have to do with Castlevania? Is it going to follow established people?" Or
Yeah.
And then they kind of did their own thing, which I think was the best move.
I think it is. I think typically you want to do that.
Yes. So I'm hoping Dragon Age does that. But I guess I really don't know the base story to go off of anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know Dragon Age, the big thing about it is like player choice. Like you are the character.
What if they Bandersnatch it where they edit a bunch of different endings and you can pick which one?
Ooh, that'd be kind of neat, right?
Yeah, they're never going to do that.
No, of course
Too
not.
expensive.
But like, I know the overarching thing is that like you create a character and then in the second game, you're a set guy, but he can be a mage or whatever.
Okay.
So I think it would be disappointing if a character shows up that was like a created character and then he's something that you weren't, you know?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like playing that fine line might be a bit weird, but the animation looks great.
Animation looks great. I am curious because I thought Netflix is agreeing to finish up all the stuff they agreed with their animation, but then that's no more. So
I think, or it was just very limited. They're cutting back on the amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope it does well. I normally don't hold out high hopes for Netflix, but Netflix animation tends to kill it.
Yeah.
Like
And
Arcane.
It's outsourced a lot is why. It's other studios doing stuff.
Yeah, because Arcane,
Phenomenal.
killer.
That was super.
BoJack Horseman, arguably one of my favorite animated shows of all time. Like, they kill it with animation.
Yeah.
Castlevania has some of my favorite animation I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, killing it in animation.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, when we were looking through news articles and stuff to talk about, it kind of just got frustrating from there. Like, it was like, oh, this looks really neat. And then everything else just kind of made us a little mad.
Yeah.
Like for example, Modern Warfare 2, which apparently isn't a remake or a remaster. It's its own new Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
This feels like a convoluted way into tricking people into buying a new game.
Yeah.
So it's not a remaster because the story's different. It's like an alternate timeline kind of thing.
Are we multiversing video games now?
I think so.
Can we stop that?
Yeah, like this upset me more than usual because it just feels like a trick. They were like, what was our most successful game? It was like the Modern Warfare ones. We already remade Modern Warfare 1, but we kind of got some new story ideas. So let's just advertise it as Modern Warfare 2, like an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
And it was the fastest of the series to get to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Which the fact that we're talking about the fastest to reach $1 billion is
Upsetting.
crazy.
I don't know. I mean, like what you like, but it doesn't feel like you guys like the game.
Yeah, it's like that in sports games.
Yeah.
It's Call of Duty. Well, most of the shooters, most Call of Duties, the Battlefields, and the sports games every year. Every single year, it's, I can't believe they made this worse than the last one. And then it sells more than the last one.
Yep.
I can't believe it did worse than Bop. It sells more than Bop.
Yeah.
Like the sports ones, I remember for Madden reading an article where it was like, hey, the new Madden just came out. Don't worry if you can't afford it yet. You'll still be in multiplayer lobbies with 2021 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the same game.
It is.
If you can, there's nothing different. I mean, I'm sure there's some minor tweaks, but if it's so similar that it's compatible with people playing on a previous game, they used the same software.
Yep.
So you're getting tricked. Like, it's so frustrating that just this keeps happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with sports games, all they do is kind of like update players' stats or whatever, and they just pump another one out. Anything like if you release a video game every year, it's not like it takes a weekend to make a game. It takes years. So it's wild that they're like, oh yeah.
But this brought the question to my mind: what's the alternative? Like if you are very upset with EA and you're like, I'm done, I'm not buying another football game, what alternative do you have?
You don't buy it.
Right, but say sports games that's your favorite. Right?
Yeah.
Like for example, I love RPGs.
Yeah.
Bethesda made me real mad with Fallout 72. I'll go play Dark Souls. I'll go play another RPG.
True. There isn't really a lot of.
Yeah. What alternatives do you have?
Well, so it's because they work hand in hand with like the actual players and like you know what I mean. So
right?
Yeah, I just went
See?
away for a second. I was just trying to think. Like, I really can't.
Yeah, it's
Like,
extra frustrating.
Blood Bowl, if you like football, I guess.
Yeah,
But
but
technically kind of counts.
right, that's more of like an arcade game
Yeah.
though than like actual.
Yeah. Man.
There isn't one.
God, I mean, we used to have like NFL Blitz back in the day.
Yeah,
and
which was phenomenal.
nothing nowadays.
Nothing. It's literally just if you want to play a sports game, you're gonna play an EA sports game.
Yeah.
Unless there might be some that are out there that we don't think of.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when it comes to the shooters, you've got Call of Duty, you've got Battlefield,
Well, at least with shooters, you do have other options, the different styles of games. and
yeah,
whatnot.
like Destiny and stuff like that.
Destiny, Apex Legends. There's other big AAA, like big
Shooters.
shooters. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an alternative there, but when I really thought about it, if sports games are your jam, like
Yeah.
you just love sports games, you don't have an option.
That's where's the trust busters? Break this monopoly.
Is it too risky? Are sports games such a niche thing that companies won't want to try it?
It's probably because
Or is it just partnerships?
it's partnerships is my guess. Like people are a fan of a team, so they want to play that team. They're a fan of a player, they want to be that player.
Yeah.
So if those people are all already in EA, you have to make Jim Throwball the quarterback, and you're like,
one of the big appeals to the sports games is that story modes now are like create a character, so you can kind of put yourself in your favorite team. But I guess then it's you playing with those people.
yeah,
So it's an interesting dynamic because I don't think a generic football game with, John Jonerson or whatever as the characters of the team would do very well.
no, I don't think it would at all. It would need a gimmick like Blood Bowl. It would need to be like, in a world that's falling apart, and the last bastion is sacking the quarterback.
Do you remember the street games? Like
NBA Street and stuff like that.
Yeah, those were great because those were oddly unique. They were really the only sports games that I played other than I think NFL Blitz. But that was all a bunch of randos.
Yeah.
Like that was all a bunch of random people. You created a character, and then your street team got so good that the end game was playing professional teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's a unique thing. So like those were successful. I'm just trying to think of a way out of it.
And the market will collapse.
Yeah.
Or actually, I don't think it will. It'll just keep continuing, and people will keep complaining about it and keep buying it. And
yeah, I think if you could handle not buying the new game for 1 year, like somehow all the all the sports fans were like, hey, we are making a statement. 2023 or whichever one they're doing now, because it's always a year ahead or something.
Yeah.
This is going to be the game that we are going to stick with. And if we don't buy the next one, it's a state. Like there's something you can do. It's just getting everybody on board's impossible.
You can't. Yeah. We are too comfortable. We love comfort too much.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just Modern Warfare falls under that because I used to like the Call of Duty games. Like I played Modern Warfare 1.
Same. They were
Modern
great
Warfare
back in the
2.
day.
Yeah. I think the last Call of Duty game that I played was Ghost.
Okay.
Which I think it was like Modern Warfare 1 and 2, Black Ops 1 and 2. They had like another 1 or 2 and then Ghost.
Yeah.
The only reason I got Ghost is because all of my friends got it. And I was like,
that's the other thing too, is like I played a lot of them just because there's like thing my buds are playing. So I'd hop online, play with them.
Right.
I didn't necessarily love it. I don't like how it's ramped up because I really enjoyed Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was great.
But yeah, then I did Battlefield, and then Battlefield goofed up, and then kind of off the old shooter. Did Apex for a long time, which I enjoy that because I like characters.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any shooters I play anymore. Like multiplayer shooters.
Yeah,
I tried Apex, didn't like it. I tried what was the other one that tried to compete with Fortnite? There was 2.
Valorant.
Yeah, it was Valorant.
Yeah. Mediocre
at best. The last Battlefield I played was Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
So like just when I stopped, it was just a hard line. Just I'm not paying this much money for a game I'm going to play for 2 months and just get mad at.
Yeah. Oh God, it's just straight mad too.
It's
like
just
you're
pure
angry,
anger,
which is wild.
And I play Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And
that's a different anger.
Yeah, the anger that you get from like multiplayer shooter games is a whole different type of angry than the 50th time on this boss.
It's like the 50th time of the boss, you're mad at yourself. You're like, come on, I can do this.
Yeah.
in a multiplayer game, you're like, there's no way someone's better than me, and you get fucking visceral.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that we'd play Call of Duty back in the day with, and he would get. It was my buddy's younger brother, who was still like I was friend, but like so he's a little bit younger. So we're all playing, and there was times that I could hear him on my buddy's headset, like in the other part of the house, being like, "Come on, this is." And his mom. One time I heard his mom come and be like, "All right, that's enough." And he's like, "I gotta go, guys."
That's excellent. I have no problem admitting I used to be really big into Gears of War. I loved Gears 2 was my competitive scene. Like me and my buddies, I was actually in, like you had to qualify to be a part of like a group that were good at Gears of War. The rage, the absolute pure anger seething from my body. Like my friends couldn't play with me because I was in these like competitions and stuff where and then you'd go to like the competitive multiplayer and stuff and you'd get killed by somebody that's like way worse than you. My friends were like, "Hey man, we can't because you take it way too serious."
This is not fun.
Anger.
You're just like,
I can't do that anymore. I couldn't do it anymore.
man. No, because you'd die. You'd have a heart attack.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
Because you're in bad shape.
Yeah,
physically.
I mean, it made you lose your hair.
I know.
Like,
like I get mad at like I want to be better at League of Legends, but I don't have the time to be better at it.
Yeah.
And I also don't have 4 friends to play with, and I'm not good enough to carry.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like I play, and I just go, I'm never gonna get out of bronze.
Yeah. That's the main reason I didn't play Rocket League. My buddy Jacob is like Diamond League, Rocket League.
Really?
He is incredibly good.
Nerd.
And the only reason I would ever want to play is if we did like 2v2 or whatever. I wouldn't want to play Rocket League by myself.
Sure.
So whenever I would play with him, we would be 2v2ing people. It would bring him down to my level. And I would be like just driving my little Hot Wheels. And then he would be 1v2ing these people.
Yeah, he's just doing sick drifts and scoring goals.
Right. And then they fixed the algorithm to bump me up to him. And I was not having a good time. I was not. But yeah, like I would play with him and I would be like, I can't. There's no way I could get into this. There's 0% chance I could even get close to being okay at this game.
Yeah.
On to some different news when it comes to gaming. Something that a lot of people are excited for. I don't know if we're the experts to necessarily chat about this, but there's the new Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about Harry Potter?
I used to, when I was younger, love the books.
Okay.
I read 5. And I think it was Order of the Phoenix felt really political. And I was like, I'm here for magic,
Okay.
not administrative paperwork. So I fell off there. And it was just one of those things where I was getting older. The year between books or whatever was too long.
Okay.
Then it was the movies, and then I watched the first couple of those, and then the same thing, like the 3 years between movies or whatever. I'm like, I'm out.
Okay. Cool.
So I am a fan of the franchise. I don't like a lot. Like, quit making new. Like, it was fine. You had 7 movies. You couldn't get it done in 8 movies. You had to get like Fantastic Beasts. Like, you're good, guys. It's the Star Wars problem. Quit making new shit.
Yeah. Or be different with your new shit.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, actively disliked Harry Potter.
Yeah, because he stole your lunch money, right?
Yeah.
You and Daniel Radcliffe.
It had nothing to do with how good it was. I always liked Lord of the Rings. So when I was deep into Lord of the Rings, it just felt like why would I like or watch Harry Potter if I have everything I could want from Lord of the Rings? It's like it felt like Hogwarts and magic and stuff was just a lesser fantasy of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
you know?
I get that.
I just couldn't really get into it. I appreciate what it did. Like, it got a lot of people into nerdy stuff. I think they did great with their world building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, as a kid, get past that threshold. Tried to rewatch the movies when I was older. They're fine.
They're fine.
They were fine.
Yeah. What's creepy is like like dudes my age now when the movies were coming out were like, "Oh, Rainey's finally 18." Like that's a creepy thing to say.
That's not all right.
It cost you nothing to say that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah. Could have kept that up here.
it's always weird because like dudes will say something like that and like what's their desired response? Someone else is like, "Yeah, I also agree that she is attractive now that she is legally able to be."
Yeah, now that I can legally say it.
Yeah,
like, it's
like,
just creep talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're hoping that you just weasel that out of somebody else to get. I don't know. It's creepy.
God, I like to sometimes if I'm at bars and someone says some dumb stuff like that, I'm like, "Oh, explain that."
Oh yeah, just trap them.
Yeah. Like what do you mean? Just make them, because the more people talk, they typically get themselves in trouble.
Oh, absolutely. That's the easiest way to win a debate is to just explain yourself, please. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's why I have a strong bias. I'm not stupid, but I'm definitely an idiot.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say about this Hogwarts Legacy, it looks amazing for people that like Harry Potter.
Yes, it looks really good. It's getting a lot of hype. Hopefully it holds up. I want nerds to be happy.
Have you seen the trailer or what they're trying to do?
I watched an older trailer.
Okay. So from my understanding, it's an RPG.
Yes.
So you're going to be able to be good at different things that you would learn in the school.
Mm-hmm.
You're a student in the school, and then the classes that you go to will enhance abilities.
Yeah.
So like if you want to be defensive, might not be the right word. If you don't want to be the person that's casting spells, you could get really good at herbalism and potion making and buffs, like the Skyrim thing. You know? So it looks like they're trying to do a you are in this world game. Like there's going to be a story. There's going to be like side quests and exploring, and you are going to be in this universe figuring out who you are as a student at Hogwarts.
So it's when I was 10-year-old, every 10-year-old's dream. Yeah.
Yes.
It's you're getting your dude. If how great would it be if the cases just looks like the letter from Hogwarts?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. You put it in, you're like, oh.
I think more games should do that. I think that you could do that with many, many fantasy worlds. Like, could you imagine just being like an RPG where you are a soldier of some kind in Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
Yeah. That. Well, like, wasn't KOTOR kind of like that, where it's a separate story?
Yeah, it takes place hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years before the movies.
Yeah.
But I'm talking more in, like, you're in the... like, KOTOR was the, like... Because Star Wars is Darth Vader's story.
Mm-hmm.
For 1 through 6, at least.
Yeah.
KOTOR is the story of Revan.
Oh, right. Yeah, before.
Yeah. So if you create like a Star Wars where it takes place during the prequels, like Jedi Academy. That kind of thing, where it's like it's your story throughout the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are in the Jedi Academy. You are a student. You are going through. You're on Geonosis. You're on these planets. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So I hope this does well.
Yeah.
And we can see this in other universes.
I think if it does well, it'll breed other...
Yeah, and it's not an MMO. That's the thing I was most excited for, because these games are so easy to make as MMOs that are just shitty.
Yeah, so like, all right, wow. Multiplayer?
I don't think so.
Wow, another one-player game this year.
I think it's single player. We might need to double check that, but off the top of my head, I remember it being a single player game.
Nice. All right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know too much about the game, but what I've seen, it looks like if you're a Harry Potter fan, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
No, it looks like it's going to be really good. Okay. Speaking of having a great time, John Wick 4 trailer.
Yeah.
I think this is a controversial statement. I love the John Wick movies. They're fun. They're ridiculous.
I don't think that's controversial at all.
Good. I just said I don't think it is.
Yeah. Oh, you don't think?
I don't think it is.
I thought you said I thought this was a.
Controversial opinion. Keanu Reeves seems like a real nice guy.
Yeah.
I said it. I said it, guys. I said it.
So I'm excited as well. I'm curious. John Wick has kind of been a wild ride because everybody just likes them for the action. Yeah. But if you actually start to try and take a look at the story,
it's kind of bonkers.
It's pretty convoluted.
It's super convoluted.
At best.
The first one...
Straight to the point.
Like, oh, yeah, I got to get revenge. Yep. He's this guy that has his past.
Yep.
And then the next one, they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, hotel.
Yeah. Was the second one the hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one was the hotel. And then the third one was that person redeeming some token that he was obligated.
And he didn't want to. And
yeah.
More hotel. Like, it got really... It looks like it's going to be very hotel. Well, when I say hotel, I mean like you learn all about the underworld and everything going on.
Yeah.
Which explains a bunch more.
This trailer, I think, had the least amount of action compared to the other trailers.
True, because I think they know you're going to come see it.
Yes.
This felt like more of like a, by the way, we got another one coming out. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Question, is this the last one?
I could see this being the last one with Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
And then, because I read some of their, I think it's called Ballerina. They're doing a spinoff.
Yeah.
Which, again, cool.
Yep.
Like, I love the stylistic choices. The storyline is convoluted, but it's like tongue-in-cheek where it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie.
I'm skeptical of the spinoff because, I mean, brutal honesty, I'm not watching John Wick for the story.
No, not at all.
If you ask me to describe the story of 1, 2, and 3, it's not going to get any better than being like, first one, straightforward, dog. Second one, hotel.
Yeah.
Third one, weird token. Like, that's,
it really is.
That's it.
But
I can tell you every fight that happened because they were amazing.
they are. Like, he's on a horse.
Yeah. Come on. In the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think for me, peak John Wick fight scene might be the knife shop from the third movie. I love where they're just throwing knives from the display cases.
I loved that scene so much because he spends time retrofitting a gun.
Yeah.
He fires it once?
Yeah.
And he's like, and he just throws it.
He throws it.
Like, what is it, 10 minutes? What did we just watch?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm very excited for John Wick 4.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
Well, I think if they just basically write John Wick as like a younger person, I think it's a lady lead. It's the lady from it, I think.
From the third movie?
Yeah, I think so. But like you can just keep all like just change him into her and then keep all the same action, keep the ridiculous story.
Yeah.
Like it could just be one of those things where John, like, you know, is getting a little old or maybe he just doesn't want to put the effort. You know what I mean? Like he's made 4 great movies. Like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But I do have a theory about John Wick.
Okay.
That it's actually a vampire movie.
Go for it. Convince me.
If you look at it, he does things that could not be possibly done by a human. Like
that's every action movie. Though.
Well, yeah, but it gets more fun with
You're
like
telling me that Tom Cruise could really hang off the side of a plane on the wing.
You know what he can't do? Be 5'6". But no, all right. So if you look at John Wick, a lot of it takes place at night. A lot of it is a secret organization that has like raves and trades political favors and whatnot. This is like a Vampire the Masquerade game.
Okay.
He falls off of a building and hits like 4 different awnings, and he's just like, oochie, ouchie.
Yeah.
There's
the
a big
awnings slowed him down.
Yeah.
That's science.
Science, yeah. And you know what I mean? Like, and then like there's all of this weird, like it's like the guy wanted to make a vampire action movie, but the studio was like, we cannot
do vampires.
No vampires. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He goes, okay. And he just went Control F, found the word vampire, delete.
Right. They're all the script. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It just seems super fun. Like, I wish there were more movies that were like that, where you're like, oh man, that could easily be. I want to know, like, what would be a good werewolf movie where they just took the word werewolf out, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. Like,
I think it depends on the type of werewolf you're using.
True.
You know?
Well, I like Dog Soldier style.
Dog Soldiers.
You've never seen Dog Soldiers? Oh, it's great.
Is it?
Yeah. I love
I've
werewolf.
never even heard of this movie.
Dude, it's like considered one of the best werewolf movies
Okay.
because it's gritty and it's gritty and it has like good. It's just good. You should watch it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with werewolf. Same thing with vampires, but a little bit more on the hate side with werewolves. Like, I love vampires, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, 30 Days a Night spoiled
Great.
me on vampires.
It was great.
To me, that's my favorite vampire.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, Daybreakers, and then there's, like, your Twilights, and, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different vampires. I feel like there's more good vampire than bad vampire.
I think you're wrong,
You think so? Okay.
but you're just like talking about like the high end vampire stuff.
True. That's
Like,
true.
I've seen some wildly bad vampire movies.
Yes. I've seen more bad werewolf than good werewolf.
Yeah, werewolves are incredibly hard to pull off.
Yeah. To me, Werewolf of London,
Yep.
like, I adore that movie. I haven't seen anything even remotely close in how good it was.
Dog Soldiers is like, so typically people when they talk about werewolf movies, it's like Werewolves of London, or sorry, Werewolf in London.
Yeah. American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, Dog Soldiers and Ginger Snaps. I think are the 3
Okay.
that are like really good, and they're all 3 very different movies.
Yes. Yeah, they are all 3 very different movies.
Have you seen Ginger Snaps?
No, I have not.
That one is almost like a girl's coming of age story.
Oh,
It's
okay.
pretty good. Because then there's other movies like Cursed, where it's like some kid gets in like one of the scenes, which is funny, but I was like, come on, like
Yeah.
they shoot the werewolf and he comes back and the werewolf gives them the finger. I'm like, it's funny, but it's
Nice.
so out of place.
Nice.
I think that one also had like Jesse Eisenberg in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, werewolves are definitely. Why do you think that is? Like werewolves are so much harder to pull off than vampires.
Because you can tell a human story with vampires easier than a werewolf story with, or easier than a human story with werewolves.
Fair enough.
Like werewolves are all about being berserk and blah blah blah. You know, for vampires, there's a calculation to it. Like you can have like there's Dracula and the esteem of it, and there's story behind it. But when people see a werewolf movie, they just expect somebody can't control them. It's more of a monster movie.
Yeah.
So harder to pull off because it's kind of a one-trick pony.
I mean, I played a lot of Werewolf, the Apocalypse back in the day. Like, so I really enjoy that style of werewolf where it's like you can change. Some people can control it, some people can't.
I love the politics of like werewolves and vampires, like when they're together, because they've always been like at war in some way. Like Twilight was not the first thing.
No,
that did, everybody.
Underworld, man.
Yeah, Underworld was great. So I think if you did something like that, but that can really only be pulled off if they're both in the same movie.
True. Yeah, that is true. So hey, let us know if you guys know any good werewolf movies we should watch. I'm a big fan, and
The new one Disney just did, Werewolf by Night.
Is that a werewolf movie? Really?
Technically,
Yeah, I guess it is.
right? I mean, it's called
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
It's also a special, not even a movie.
Yeah,
I like
true.
that.
But that was very good.
That was good.
Arguably my least favorite type of werewolf, though. I don't like the human-faced werewolves.
Yeah.
I know that's the old school, like
Well, that was just
comic book style.
they just dip your face in glue and threw hair on you, and you're like, look at that monster.
I like if you're gonna be werewolf, the full
Dog face. Yeah.
dog face.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that one was good. But yeah. Let us know if you know any good werewolf content I should check out.
For sure.
I think that's going to wrap up for us this week, guys. So make sure to check us out next week on Tuesday. We got to read a review, and we
Yes.
got a couple of cool announcements.
Very exciting announcements. Do you want to start with the review or the announcements?
Let's start with the review.
Cool. All right. We have a new Google review, or not Google, Apple review. Tyson, you want to read it or you want me to?
You go ahead and read it.
Okay, cool. This is by Brie Egg. The and it
5-star review.
Yeah, 5. We only read 5-star.
We only get
Yeah,
the 5
forget
stars.
those 21 stars we're looking at. We care about this one 5-star review. But she says, the news I need. Tyson and Tyler are hard-hitting reporters. That's rough. Yes.
We do encourage lying in the reviews.
Yeah, we do. Hard-hitting reporters that know what we really need. Nerdy info and comedy. These two are a delightful duo. Take a listen. You will not regret it.
Yeah. Thanks, Brie Egg.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
We really do. The 5-star reviews are absolutely paramount. It's crazy how important they are.
Yeah. And after some reviews and stuff have come in, not all of them have left comments. Some people just leave a 5-star.
Yeah.
But with that, if you look up Nerd News on Apple, we're first now.
Yeah.
So
we're climbing that algorithm. We're
Yeah.
SENRO.
Absolutely. And we're very excited. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it.
Because we do have, like we've mentioned this before, the more we do this, the more support we get, the more stuff we're going to do.
We can do, yeah.
Such as on February 3rd, we're doing a live stand-up comedy show
At a comic book show.
at a comic book shop
Yep.
to celebrate the
Magic
pregame, the new Phyrexia, I think is what it is.
Yeah, for Magic the Gathering. We're still working out some of the paperwork and how we're going to run the event. So we don't have details on like what it's called or anything like that. But we are in works with this comic book shop for February 3rd.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We will be very excited to keep you guys updated.
Oh, yeah, a little teaser. We're not actually going to tell you anything more.
Yeah. Nothing else on it. We know it's going to happen. And we're putting it together now. So the first, actually, by the time, this might be the second Nerd News event. you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a teaser to a teaser on a teaser for January.
We're going to Applebee's, going to get some Apple teasers.
But yeah, so we're excited. We are expanding and doing more and more. And we thank you all so much because it wouldn't be possible without you guys.
100%.
Anything else you want to chat about before we get out of here?
Hey, just check me out. I'm going to be in Peru, Indiana for a showcase. So if you're in Indiana in the middle of nowhere, come on out to Peru. And then also going to be at Red Curb on the 23rd. With Brent Terhune. It's gonna be a fun time. Hey, yep, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. We're gonna have the fantastic Kevin Eggleston from nationally touring comedian. You might know him from his podcast By Its Cover that he does with his wife, Bree. It's a good time. So I'm super excited. He's recently getting into the nerdage, new D&D, but he's like a huge nerd. Like I was talking to him about Watchmen, and my God, I cannot wait to talk to him more about that.
Yeah, no, we're very excited to have him. So stay tuned. We'll have him for both the Tuesday and the Thursday episode next week.
Yeah.
And we love you all. And we'll see you.